once we got access to level 50, I just started catching and maxing out other Pokemon, and so now I never see the Aggron unless something has gone very, very wrong. Ag wrong, if you will.
Anyways.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
You don't need to do a dance for this fusion, but attending a GoFest will definitely help.
With Dusk in their mane and Dawn on their wings, Necrozma hype is taking flight. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 282. It's May 14th. This week it actually is a Tuesday we're recording on. I'm not mistaken. Quick check. Kyle, do I have the week right? The day of the week right?
Yes, it's Tuesday.
Whew, thank goodness. Close one. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing this week?
I'm doing okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for more.
You could.
It's not going to get me very far. It's been years of me asking for more. I don't know about that. We're not going to move the needle on okay. Not very much, at least. That's all right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome on in, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of GoCast. We're going to be talking about quite a bit of Pokemon Go stuff this week, as we usually do, but definitely much more than last week when we only had one piece of news. We're going to be, of course, talking about the Necrozma and Fusion news here a bit, and then we'll finish up the news section talking about the new Ultra Space Wonders event. But stay tuned after that, because we do have other stuff in the show, like a couple of great voicemails, an email, all that good stuff. But before we get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, Kyle, we need to face the facts, face the music, whatever you'd like to face that thing, because we set some goals.
Face the disappointment.
That's right. Yeah, we set some goals, and these goals will reflect the fact that it was the Flock Together Research Day over the weekend, featuring numerous bird-like Pokemon, or actual birds, I suppose. So, Mr. Kyle, for yourself, you had a rather conservative goal of a shiny Doduo or Spearow. Did you get either of those?
No.
Okay, what happened?
Let's keep going.
Oh, okay. Did you do the Flock Together research?
No.
Okay, I have theories now. What about 300,000 experience? Your last goal? Did you do that?
I did do that.
Okay. So did you play everything except for the event that you were trying?
Well, I mean, I had another best friend that I got this week, so that was pretty good.
Okay.
So that was a large chunk of the experience. My dad asked for help at noon on Saturday. Supposed to take an hour. Ended up taking 4. So I just didn't play the Flock Together event at all. So I'm glad I didn't buy the ticket.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's for the birds, man. That's for the birds for sure.
Especially after hearing your luck.
Yeah. Here, I'll get to that in a minute here. My goals were 50 eggs hatched. I think I was under that by I think it was at 39 that week or something like that. So unfortunately, no, my egg goal I didn't hit, which I'm sad about. Shiny Doduo. Yeah, buddy. I got 2.
Nice.
2. Doduo, if you would. 3 other shinies I did. I got 9 total that event. My total haul was 2 Hoot, 2 Rufflet, 2 Doduo. Sorry, 3 Rufflet, 2 Doduo, a Taillow, and a Fletchling. So everything except for the Spearow and my beloved Pidgey I was trying to get my hands on. Didn't work out. But 3 other shinies did happen. 18.75 million Stardust on hand. Happy to say yes. I'm on track for 19 million next week. That'll be my goal going into it. I'm getting so close. I've gotten so many hundos, man, that I want to level up, and I'm just holding off because I don't want to screw up my Stardust goals until I hit the 20. This is tough. And then finish the research day research. I did. I took Doduo, and I'm frustrated to report none of my additional encounters were shiny. Not a one of them. Those Doduo came from regular run-of-the-mill research desks. I saw that a lot. I saw a lot online on social media in particular of people talking about how if you chose the research to chase a particular shiny, you sure weren't getting that shiny from those researches.
Yep. Yeah.
So hopefully you broke the mold, dear listener, and you had a shiny, pointed and targeted shiny, I should say, for your research day. But my bragging doesn't stop there, Kyle. I've got two more things to brag about.
Okay.
One was a full odds shiny Nincada I caught in the wild yesterday.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
great. That's a good one.
Very excited, but the bug related news doesn't stop there. No, sir. I got a Hundo Yanma, now a Yan Mega, yesterday as well.
Now that you just need to hold on to that until they add Mega Yan Mega.
Mega Yan Mega.
Maybe with Pokemon ZA.
I'm not gonna. Oh, actually, no. Stop. No, I'm not holding my breath. Don't do that to me. No, I got to keep my inner optimist in check. Although it would be like them to give us a bug mega that probably still wouldn't hold up, huh?
No.
Justice for bugs. Oh gosh. Anyway, bragging finished. Did you have any hundos or shiny catches you wanted to share with us, Kyle?
No, nothing of note recently. I finally made some progress in Monster Hunter. This is a new event, so there's that. Yeah.
When you say progress, you mean
I was finally able to overgrade my Legiana dual blades to 7. So
nice, very nice.
Only my second weapon to be 7, and I literally hunted 45 6-star Legiana for 20 claws. I didn't get them. The event that just started yesterday or Sunday had a quest that gave 2, and those are the last 2 that I needed.
Wow.
So the 2-star rarity is seriously a problem in this game. And I'm not even at like the 6-star rarity stuff. So
gosh,
good Lord.
Gosh. Yeah, well, Monster Hunter Now team, if you're listening to this, first of all, you're doing great, sweetie. Like really great. But yeah, maybe up the rarity on that. I will also say I am looking. Gosh, for my Baroth hammer, yeah. I'm having a problem. Sorry, with my Diablos hammer, not Baroth. My Diablos hammer. It's the ridges for me. It's the second tier. It's not ridges, but it's the second tier one for me as well.
Yeah, it's always because like it doesn't have a terrible drop rate. It's like I don't know, it's like 8 or 9% from a 6-star, which is not that bad.
Yeah. But
it is bad when you realize that the levels that need the 2-star rarity needs 20 of them.
Yeah. Yep.
And like you look at a Wyvern Gem Shard and it's like 1% chance or whatever. And you're like, okay, cool. But until you get to like 10-2, you only need a handful of them. So
yeah.
Or 10-1, I guess. 10-1's when it starts to ramp up. But so it's like those rarity twos it feels bad. It feels bad because I should not be excited to see that green drop more than the blue drop.
Right. Yes, that is kind of antithetical, especially to our previously tuned into MMO drop rate brains. Yeah. Like really quick, since we're in our Monster Hunter minute anyway. Like the I am actually gated at Wyvern Gem Shards on my my Toby Kadachi sword, my Kadachi Fang 2. I'm trying to I can overgrade it to 8 once I have 3 more gem shards out of the 4 that I need for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that one I'm actually gated on, but I don't need tier 2 parts for this upgrade. I just need the high tier stuff. So that's why it's fine.
Did you finish the quests last week? Qualili quests?
Quilili? No, I did not.
It was a shard.
No,
I have right there for you.
I have decided, yes, and I've decided at one point in time, like a few months ago, I was able to keep up with both Pokemon Go and with Monster Hunter now with very little challenge. But now that I'm having a bit of pushback, I admittedly am prioritizing Go, both personally and professionally for this show, I suppose, to kind of do that.
It took 2 hours on Sunday for me to finish because I hadn't done any of it. And I'm like, oh no, it actually ends. Let's see if I can.
If I can't finish it just by getting lucky with spawns around my house or in my neighborhood when I do walks and stuff like that, then it doesn't get done, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's missions that require you to get kills in certain biomes probably are going to be a problem for that.
Yes, it can be. Also just certain holdout monsters that I could probably find if I went out for them, but they just don't happen to be on my street for like a week.
What about Zinogre coming in the wild?
I will definitely go out and do some of those because that would be great. I hope it's much more soloable than it was in the hats. Not that that's a problem anymore.
It should, but I imagine it'll have regular HP. Getting the tail cuts won't be as easy though.
No, you need the distractions. You need the level 6 hunters out in front going as you're like chopping on their tails. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry y'all. Monster Hunter Minute.
Yep, there you go.
We're going back. We're going back to Pokemon Go. All right. So I think we could probably just hop into the news because we got to get going here. We got a lot to cover. Yo, what up? It's the news. Okay, so there's 3 pieces of news total. The first 2, they have this on the website. The 2 blog posts have different content to them, but have the same name and thumbnail, so it can be a little confusing. So we're just gonna we're gonna work through all of this and just get as much information out of these 2 things as possible without trying to make sense of it. That's the take. All right. So this first article, and the second one was too, but the first one was called "Form a New Light at Pokemon Go Fest 2024 with Dusk main Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma." All right, so I'm going to take a page out of Zoe's book because I did watch her video on this. And instead of saying Dusk main Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma over and over and over again, we're going to go with main and wings, maybe main Necrozma or wings Necrozma, just to keep it nice and short. Kyle, feel free to do with whatever you want. You can say the full thing. It's all
I would have said Dusk and Dawn, but
Dusk and Dawn is fine too. Whatever, as long as we're shortening it. Because this ain't no Pikachu with a 5-shaped balloon, let me tell you.
That time is coming, though.
It is. I can't wait. I hope we get a 6-shape. No, 7. So 8? What year are we on?
Balloon.
Oh my gosh. Woo-wee. Dang. All right, let's dig into this article. Necrozma has more than one form? That's right. Duskmane Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma will also make their Pokemon Go debuts during Pokemon Go Fest 2024. Adventure through the special research story during your city session to collect solar fusion energy or lunar fusion energy and investigate the appearance of ultra wormholes throughout the city. Ticket holding trainers will be able to fuse Necrozma with Solgaleo to create Main or Dusk Necrozma or Lunala to create Dawn Necrozma. First at the in-person Pokemon Go Fest 2024 events in Sendai, Madrid, and New York City, obviously in that order, because they're not all happening at the same time. Dusk Necrozma and Dawn Necrozma will then make their worldwide debuts for trainers during Pokemon Go Fest 2024 Global. So what this all means in plain speak is that this Pokemon is coming, its fusions are coming, and if you go to the in-person events for Go Fest, you'll get that earlier than everybody else, but everybody else will have access to it by Global, or at Global, rather.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing they did with Mega Rayquaza last year.
Yes, exactly. And also Primal, but that was for a tour event. So it's not quite the same, but they handle features like this the same way, kind of unilaterally, is what we're saying.
Basically, it's not going to work like the Mythical, where you have to wait a whole year before you can get it again. That's right. Really the major difference here.
Yep. Newly discovered items in Pokemon Go. Items newly discovered, Lunar Fusion Energy and Solar Fusion Energy, can be found during this event. Trainers with an active Pokemon Go Fest 2024 ticket will be able to participate in special research that will grant either Solar Energy or Lunar Energy to fuse Necrozma once, depending on their branching quest choice. Don't miss out on this early opportunity to obtain these forms ahead of Pokemon Go Fest 2024 Global. Unless, of course, the event is sold out like Sendai, then I guess you're just out of luck. I think New York, a few of the days or day parts are already sold out. I'm not quite sure of Madrid, although it does seem like a lot of people are going, so who knows. Pokemon Go Fest 2024 real-world locations. Upon successfully completing a raid, trainers will have the opportunity to catch Necrozma and then use collected fusion energy to fuse Necrozma with Solgaleo or Lunala to create their respective forms. Fusion will be available at in-person events for the first time in Pokemon Go as a one-time opportunity exclusively for ticket-holding trainers. Fusion energy will become available globally beginning with Day 2 of Pokemon Go Fest 2024 Global. I want to take a moment to say how much I appreciate them being very specific about this information. This verbiage cannot be misconstrued. It's very clear. And for as much as we harp and poke fun at the writing sometimes, I want to say that this paragraph, these two statements, I should say, are great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So if you go to these in-person events, you will get to do that fusion once. It will cost energy every time, and you will start getting more energy outside of that one time that you got just enough energy for during the research after or beginning with Day 2 of Global.
We'll talk about how that actually works very shortly.
Yes.
Don't worry about that
just
too much.
I'm just making sure that no trainer left behind at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pokemon Go Fest 2024 Global. Dawn Wings Necrozma and Dusk Main Necrozma will make their worldwide debut during Day 2 of Global in raids. Trainers will have the opportunity to catch Necrozma in its regular form after defeating this fused form in raids. In addition to encountering Necrozma and receiving the typical raid rewards, trainers will obtain Solar Fusion Energy or Lunar Fusion Energy from Dusk Main Necrozma or Dawn Wings Necrozma raids, respectively. So you'll have access to both. You won't have to choose or be gated to just one like those who got it first at a Go Fest in person would. Trainers will also receive Cosmog candy upon successfully completing one of these raids. We're halfway there. Now, how about the Cosmog?
Yeah.
For those of you that might not be in the know, Cosmog evolves into Cosmoem, which then you have a choice of evolving into either Solgaleo or Lunala. And not having access to more Cosmog after received them 3 years ago. It was a while ago now, right? Too at the very
2 years
least.
ago. I have no memory anymore of those times. Let's go find out. Anyway,
it wasn't a few months ago. Let's just say to say the least,
significant amount of time.
Yeah. So Kyle's going to look that up, but we haven't gotten another chance at another Cosmog. I think if you did everything, you got 3. I have 3.
Is there 3?
Yeah, I realized that I had 3, and so I gave one a bunch of rare candies. Now I've got a Cosmog, Solgaleo, and a Lunala.
2023. I got them both. I got one in July, one in August.
So it was last year.
Yeah.
How do I not remember that?
I don't know. How do I only have 2? Where was the third one?
I don't know what to tell you, but I got mine from special research.
Yes. So we're both in mine. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's that. You know, we're waiting for the opportunity to get more Cosmog, better IVs, and all that good stuff. But at least the candy question is sort of answered here, so that's nice. Lastly, special research. On Saturday, ticket holding trainers will be able to complete exclusive special research to learn more about the mythical Pokemon Marshadow and have an opportunity to encounter one. And then on Sunday, adventure through a free special research story to learn more about Ultra Wormholes and encounter Cosmog. Oh, there we go. There's a Cosmog encounter.
There is Cosmog.
It should be in race. Ticket holding trainers will receive extended branching special research that include encounters with Solgaleo or Lunala, as well as solar fusion energy or lunar fusion energy. So I guess you're getting a couple of copies of stuff that you need. And if you weren't around for the first round of Cosmog, sounds like you could get a regular Cosmog, evolve it into like a Solgaleo, and then if you, depending on the research you chose, encounter a Lunala later. So you could probably get it all squared away.
A paid person can. A free person gets one Cosmog.
Yeah.
So worth making sure that that's clear.
Yeah, that's true. So good call out. So there's that. So before we move on to the other article that was posted about this, which does talk about fusion, and Kyle is going to handle that as sort of a spiritual gear up in the middle of news, I suppose. This basically just covers accessibility and acquisition of these Pokemon. So how do we feel about this? Do we feel like this is going to be worth carrying the event? How do we feel about the one-time evolution or fusion for those of us that go to the GoFest in person? What do you think, Kyle?
I mean, it doesn't carry in the same way that Rayquaza does, because Rayquaza is a fan favorite, and Necrozma is just newer, even though it's 10 years old at this point. Let's not talk about that. I don't know. It's really cool and refreshing to see a new mechanic coming to the game. Maybe it's a little bit overdue if we're being completely honest, but we actually have something that can make use of this. It's not like adding in a mechanic so that Shedinja cannot be useless, where that only applies to one Pokemon. So I mean, I think it's cool. I'm scared to raid Dusk and Dawn Necrozma, because like that's got to be a scary raid.
Yeah,
just to get my regular Necrozma and then the energy. Who knows what the energy gain is going to be like? Of course, I'm assuming it's going to be like primals, where you'll have to do like 5, 6 to fuse once. Afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, like, primal energy and mega energy are largely treated the same way. This is going to be pretty similar to that, right?
Yeah. So I'm excited. I don't like it's a positive that we're getting more Cosmog candy. I don't like that this is how we're getting it. Because this is just another way of limiting Cosmog chances. I want more Lunala. Where's my shiny Lunala?
Yeah, true. True.
I don't know. It's just like, it's rough, especially for newer players as well. So it's going to tie in a little bit later into the discussion, I think. But what do you think?
I mean, I think it's fun. It's it is frustrating that Cosmog isn't more available, but it is kind of a unique case, right? You could just say, throw Lunala and Solgaleo in raids, and I think that's probably the easiest solution here. But then how would you handle the fusion stuff, right? How would you handle this Dusk and Dawn forms of Necrozma? And so I think the way that they have it spread out and using research to sort of get us to have more encounters makes sense. It just doesn't feel sustainable, right? Like, I mean, maybe who's to say that in the future they're not going to throw Solgaleo Lunala in raids for a weekend or in elite raids for a month, right? I mean,
that's why I don't like it. Why are Lunala and Solgaleo treated so reverently right now? I understand there's the evolution mechanic, but like, they've literally just thrown every other legendary into raids up to this point.
Yeah,
every single one, regardless of like mechanic, regardless of what's going on. And I think it's cool to tie the energy to doing Dusk and Dawn Necrozma raids. Like, that's cool. That's fine. They can be a tier 6 raid. It's going to be real hard, all that kind of stuff. But there should be options for regular stuff. There should be options for slightly easier raids to do the Cosmog, to get your Lunala and Solgaleo.
Yeah, so it's weird though, because saying like maybe throw Cosmog in tier 3 raids also doesn't feel right to me.
No, it doesn't. I'm totally cool with the limited Cosmog availability. Just let me catch the Lunala and Solgaleo.
Yeah.
Like, just I get it. Cosmog it's got the whole evolution thing. It's really unique and stuff like that. So keep that as a reward for, especially for people who want the first stage stuff. And in the future we'll have a masterwork to get shiny Cosmog at the end or something like that. And then you can choose to evolve it if you want to. But I hope we don't suffer and not basically ever see shiny Lunala or Solgaleo in this game.
Yeah, I think by the time that we get to after GoFest season, we'll probably I'm hoping at the very least we'll have more of an understanding about like how these Pokemon are being handled in the future, because we're not going to revisit them except for shiny forms, and those will be in events or ticketed research or free research if it's tied to the event, right? Other than that, I mean, they're going to be free to just throw in stuff whenever they need to boost, event engagement or something. They will be treated like Rayquaza is. But yeah, I definitely agree with you that it'll be at the Solgaleo and Lunala level, definitely not at the Cosmog level. So hey, I guess the only benefit is that Solgaleo and Lunala both use the same candy, so that if they are in a raid event, you can just raid either one, whichever one you think is easier, or you don't have to hope for one when you're looking for the other in cases where you're looking for candy, and XL candy, right? So that's a benefit to this, but that's like the only benefit to this weird setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't you tell us all about this Necrozma Fusion mechanic?
All right. So, trainers, behold the power of Pokemon Fusion. Thanks to this wondrous new power, Necrozma, the Prism Pokemon, can take on awesome alternate forms in Pokemon Go. The powerful Dusk Mane Necrozma and Dawn Wings Necrozma come into being by fusing Necrozma with the legendary Pokemon Solgaleo, the Sun Pokemon, and Lunala, the Moon Pokemon, which Pokemon can do for the first time at Pokemon Go Fest 2024. Pokemon Fusion is the ability to combine certain Pokemon into a single, more powerful form with an altered appearance. So far, this phenomenon has only been observed and documented with Necrozma, and it seems that the newly discovered Solar Fusion Energy and Lunar Fusion Energy are key to taking advantage of fusion. We'll talk about why that's really funny in just a second.
Okay.
Necrozma is the first Pokemon with fusion, but Pokemon debut. Necrozma, the Prism Pokemon, will make its Pokemon Go debut in raids during Pokemon Go Fest 2024. Also starting during Go Fest 2024, you can fuse Necrozma with Solgaleo or Lunala to get Dusk Mane Necrozma or Dawn Wings Necrozma. The said Pokemon cannot be traded, transferred to the professor, or transferred to Pokemon Home. Interesting. I don't know how this actually works from Sun and Moon, so that may be even par for the course potentially.
So I think it's just also because this is the way that mega forms are handled. You can't trade or transfer a mega Pokemon or put it in
But like
home.
we'll read about this in a second why it's so different. But
okay.
I didn't play through enough of Sun and Moon. When the fusion like this happens in the games, does it consume like Solgaleo or Lunala? Like, do the two Pokemon actually become one Pokemon in the storage?
That's what I remember, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So that's why I'm curious.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I wonder if you can transfer one from Sun and Moon all the way up. I know that Lunala is available to be traded into Scarlet and Violet, right? I saw someone complaining the shiny looks bad.
I believe so. Yeah.
So Pokemon Fusion. With enough fusion energy, Necrozma can be fused with either Solgaleo. I'm not going to read that again. I'm sorry. Trainers can fuse Necrozma and Solgaleo using 1,000 Solar Fusion Energy, 30 Necrozma Candy, and 30 Cosmog Candy. Trainers can fuse Necrozma with Lunala for 1,000 Lunar Energy, 30 Cosmog, and 30 Necrozma Candy. Fused Necrozma will remain in this form until their trainer separates them. Separating will not cost any fusion energy or Pokemon Candy.
Now I see why you were saying that this is different. Okay.
Yeah. Solar Fusion Energy and Lunar Fusion Energy. They're both very rare sources of power that can fuse Necrozma into a more formidable form. Trainers can obtain early access to either solar fusion energy or lunar fusion energy via branching special research at the in-person GoFest events in Sendai, Madrid, and New York City. Starting in GoFest 2024 Global, trainers will be able to earn energy by defeating Duskmane or Dawnwing's Necrozma in raid battles or by completing ticketed research tasks. Pokemon GoFest 2024. Encounter Necrozma in 5-star raids starting with the in-person GoFest 2024 events and take on Duskmane and Dawnwing's Necrozma in 5-star raids during the global event. Those won't be 5-star raids, everybody. I refuse to believe it.
No, you don't. You think they'll be boosted 5-star raids?
I think they're going to be 6-star raids. Well,
I mean
6-star raids, air quotes there for
right
out the video. Yeah, they will not. They will have higher than the base boosted stats for 5-star for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to need at least 6 to 8 people, probably.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the same ballpark of legendary mega raids where you can do it with your 6, but it's going to be rough if it's not a double weakness, which I don't believe either of these have. So
yeah, okay.
Wait, Lunala's Ghost Psychic. Lunala's Ghost Psychic, so it has a 4 times weakness. Right.
Is Moongeist Beam Fairy or is it Psychic?
It is Fairy, isn't it?
Oh no, it's Ghost, isn't it?
Okay, so it is Psychic Ghost. I thought so. So
yeah,
Lunala is actually going to be. I actually don't know what. This is so moot because we're not rating Lunala. We're rating Dawnwing, which is Necrozma. I don't know what type that is. This is. I'm not even going to try and guess which types it keeps.
No, you're good.
But anyways. Trainers without an active ticket for Pokemon GoFest 2024, Sendai, Madrid, or New York can participate in Necrozma raids, but they won't be able to encounter a shiny one until GoFest Global. Okay,
I found the answer, by the way.
Oh, no.
Necrozma is a psychic monotype Pokemon, which feels weird on its own.
It's definitely not. I don't know. I don't know what it should be, but it shouldn't just be psychic.
I think it should be Psychic Dark or Dark Dragon or some weirdness like that.
Psychic Steel would also be okay, but
yeah. So Duskmane,
that is what Solgaleo is.
Yeah, Duskmane Necrozma, which is the Solgaleo fusion, is Psychic Steel. Dawnwing's Necrozma, the Lunala fusion, is Psychic Ghost.
Okay, so that raid is going to be very easy to do.
Ultra Necrozma, which is
not
mentioned at all in any of this, but is coming later. I forgot about it. Is Psychic Dragon. That dragon typing just out of nowhere.
Anyways, dude. Dawnwing's Necrozma should be a significantly easier raid, 4 times weak to dark. We have really strong dark types like a Brutal Swing, Hydreigon, and stuff like that. But anyways, after fusing Necrozma with Solgaleo or Lunala, Duskmane and Dawnwings will have the location card associated with the fused Necrozma. Awesome for those going to the in-person events. That's very cool. Featured attacks. Duskmane Necrozma will know the charge attack Sunsteel Strike, which is the signature move of Solgaleo. Sunsteel Strike has 135 power in trainer battles and 230 power in gyms and raids. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. Dawnwing's Necrozma will learn the charge attack Moongeist Beam, which is also Lunala's signature move, for the exact same power, 135 in trainer battles and 230 in gyms and raids. Sunsteel Strike is a steel move. Moongeist Beam is a ghost move, as you would expect there. All right. Yep. But that's sort of how it works. This is not what I was expecting. I'm not going to lie.
No, I think they made it a little bit messier with this 2 different types of fusion energy. That's the only part that I don't care for. The rest of it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I follow along, but I do agree it's kind of messy. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. Like, it's permanent.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's great.
That is really crazy. Now, I do have a couple of specific questions that I think are like misnomers, but one in particular is if I'm at max Pokemon storage, like I am, and if I fuse my Lunala to my Necrozma, And so now I have one extra spot. If I catch a Pokemon to fill that spot and then I'm looking to break the other two up, will it not let me break the fusion up, or will it allow me to go one past the limit?
I could see either happening, because when
Mhm.
you hatch a bundle of eggs and you are over the limit, you get pushed over the limit. You just can't catch something.
Right.
So I could see that happening. I could also see a pop-up saying you don't have space happening as well. All will just depend on the coding for sure.
Yeah.
Now, one thing stands out to me: 1,000 fusion energy.
It's a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
It's a big number. Yeah.
But like, if you look at mega legendary raids, you get 80 for doing a mega legendary raid, give or take. If you take a really long time, maybe you get 50 or 60. If it's at that rate, that's a lot of raids. That's 12 raids, 13 raids to do one.
Too many.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough as a free to play player or a low spending player. That's giving a whole 1,000, giving the whole thing for people who are attending GoFest is pretty cool.
I guess it is odd to me that they're like, you can only do it once until global. Like, I kind of hope that it was open to everybody. So, or at least to people that, like, if I went to Sendai and then I went to Madrid and then I went to New York GoFest, I understand not getting extra copies of a mythical or something like that and getting the candy. But I would hope that I would get to do that transformation 3 times because I'd get the energy again.
Do you think you can't?
The way that it's worded makes it sound like they really only want people to do it once. It doesn't say once per, although just like our last question, I could see it going both ways and both being fine.
They generally don't answer the niche of somebody attending multiple GoFests, because let's face it, that's such a small percentage of people.
I know.
We just happen to know a bunch of them.
I was about to say, it really is just like the only like 0.5% of players that we know.
Yeah. I know. I think this is really cool. I love that it's permanent.
Yeah.
I will say that current moves for Necrozma make these forms not that crazy, but we don't know the energy costs for Sunsteel and Moongeist. But I saw someone say that Dusk main Necrozma can solo a Shuckle raid.
Hold on.
3-star.
That is a big deal. That's a big deal.
Maybe there was something I haven't actually looked into here.
Oh
that
boy,
is not quite on the sheets, but so that's fun. These are going to be good Pokemon, so that's very exciting. And then the one thing I wanted to call out, because we're sort of pseudo gear up here, is Pokemon Fusion is applicable for at least one other major Pokemon currently in Go, and that's Kyurem, who is before Necrozma in the Pokedex, which is why I think it's funny that they're like, oh, Necrozma is the first one documented.
Yeah, in Pokemon Go. Do you think that maybe we'll have to deal with that at Tour next year?
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. There's no way, like, let's face it, they've been working on this for a long time. They've been working on this for a long time, and somebody did something wrong, and that's why Kieran White showed up in the Go Battle League
the
rewards
GBL
for like one weekend.
That's right. Oh,
so somebody they pushed a patch or something, and someone probably forgot to tick off like Fusion's active or something like that, or whatever happened.
Yeah,
it's definitely coming. And those Pokemon, Kyurem Black and Kyurem White, are big boys. If they're going to be very good. So it's exciting. Like, this is cool. It's a little bit disappointing that you're going to have to raid so much to do it, but it is permanent. You don't have to keep doing it like Megas.
Yeah.
And that said, if it's really bad, they did revamp Megas completely, so there's hope.
That's right. But gosh, we're gonna flip roles here. But the Niantic that redid the Mega system is not the same Niantic that we have today.
You're right. You're definitely right. Yeah. I have one more question, and I think it's answered here, but they don't actually say it. I'm going to assume that the fused Necrozma uses Necrozma's IVs.
It does. Yeah,
So,
that's the understanding, at least generally. And I think that's how it works in the main series games. I feel like that's going to bite me in the butt, but I think that's how it works.
probably.
So,
especially because it says it keeps the location card. So
yeah. Okay, yeah. That I think I would hang my hat on that 100%. That probably almost definitely in my mind means that IVs too. Because why would you make it more complicated than that, right? Why would you be like, oh, let's take the average?
You take an average of the two Pokemon's IVs, add them together, divide it. If it's a half a point, round it down.
Yeah, because somewhere along the way that's going to break, and people are going to have a 20, 25, 28 Ultra or a Dusk made Necrozma for some reason, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay, well, that's all really cool stuff, and it's definitely something to look forward to. And remember when we were talking about GOFest, and we're like, hey, here's a lot of details, but we know they're going to give us something more before there's GOFest time for real. Just putting out there, this is what that is. So if you're waiting for it,
this is the Mega Rayquaza.
Yep. This is it. This is the Mega Rayquaza. We got one more event here, and good news, I guess, is that some of this isn't new news, but some of it is. So, hey. The Ultra Space Wonders event. This is starting Thursday, May 23rd at 10 a.m. local time, and it runs until Tuesday, May 28th at 8 p.m. local time. So, this last week, essentially, of the month. Naganadel emerges. Naganadel, or is it Naganadel or Naganadel? Did we figure that out?
I don't know if we ever figured it out. I always say Naganadel, but I don't actually know. Is there an anime pronunciation?
There might be, and I guess in order to save myself some hate mail, maybe we could look it up ahead of time.
Okay, this video said Naganadel, but it was not the anime. I don't know if it's actually even appeared in the anime. Oh, here you go. This comment says, in the anime, it's pronounced Naganadel. So, Naganadel.
Naganadel.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Naganadel instead, because that feels better to me.
Okay.
All right. Somebody please correct us or point us to a different resource or something, I guess. Anyway, Naganadel emerges. Or Naganadel emerges. The Poison Pin Pokemon will make its Pokemon Go debut. Starting with this event, trainers will be able to evolve PokéPoll into Naganadel by using 200 PokéPoll candy after catching 20 Dragon-type Pokemon with PokéPoll as their buddy. Just a heads up that the only Ultra Beast to evolve is PokéPoll into this Naganadel, whatever Pokemon. So it is different. It is different in that regard. So if you're like, but I can't evolve it now, it's because they haven't turned it on yet. They're going to for this event. Stakataka emerges. It's going to be in 5-star raids in the Eastern Hemisphere. Same with Blacephalon, but over here in the Western Hemisphere. The event bonus is going to be 2 times experience for winning Ultra Beast raid battles, which is any raid battle with an Ultra Beast in it. Wild encounters during this event will be Ekans, Zubat, Tentacool, Coughing, Stunky, Croagunk, Trubbish, Squirrelp, Marini, and if you're lucky, Dratini. But most importantly, Shiny Marini is getting debuted with this event, and that is, I think, a very big highlight. Very big highlight.
Yeah. Oh, I love Shiny Marini.
It's great. It's great. In raids, aside from the 5-star raids, which we mentioned for Stakataka in the Eastern Hemisphere and Blacephalon in the Western Hemisphere, we will be seeing in 1-star raids Paldean, Wooper, Hisuian, Quillfish, Hisuian, Sneasel, Bagon, and Dino. All 5 of those Pokemon can be shiny. In 3-star raids, we'll be seeing the likes of Galarian, Weezing, Druddigon, and Turtonator. All of those can be shiny. And in Mega raids, Mega Pidgeot. Let's go.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm not mad with the Mega Pidgeot. That's sweet. Field research task encounters. If you pick up a field research task that is tagged with an event and it has an encounter, you could earn an encounter with Nidoran female, Nidoran male, Trubbish, Marini, or if you're lucky, Gumi and Jangmo-o. All of those can be shiny, save the Jangmo-o. Although the clock is ticking on that one. So
Yeah.
yeah. Collection challenges. Oh, sorry. There's a paid timed research. Don't want to skip over that. For $5 US or the equivalent pricing tier, you can get this. Paid timed research, and your rewards will be 4 premium battle passes, 1 lucky egg, and more. Encounters with the Marini and the Naganadal wings avatar item, which are going to be pretty similar looking to like the Lunala wings. They'll just be
they look okay.
Type.
They look okay.
They do. The
Not
collection,
picture, but
no, we'll get to that in a second. Collection challenges, event themed collection challenges are coming. Complete them to receive experience and encounters with Marini. They're really trying to get everybody satisfied with Marini encounters. I'm a fan. There's going to be showcases, and then lastly, there's new avatar items. They're going to be available during the event, and then afterwards, once it's done. And it's the Naganadal jacket and Naganadal pants. And I took, I right click copied image of this picture that they showed in the blog post of this avatar and the items. And I sent it to Kyle. And I said, gosh, what was my exact phrasing? Because this is very much like not on the show, Chris, way that it's phrased. But it was, I'm writing the notes, and man, look at this. Post it. This avatar looks absolutely miserable. What are they even doing?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
And like if you didn't look at the picture, do yourself a favor, go to the blog post and just take a look.
Yeah.
It just the avatar looks very, very depressed.
Looks incredibly depressed. Looks so completely done with just standing there. The thing, okay, and the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not trying to dogpile on people being, negative, constructively or otherwise, about the Avatar update. We've already said our piece on that, right? We point out the silver linings, and then we also told our opinions. But this image is not doing them any favors. That's not even like in a pose. It's just standing there with a face on it that just says volumes.
The face really does say it all. People should start using that for how they're feeling about.
Yeah, we should make this avatar into a meme.
Yeah, really.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to chuckle, go take a look at that. This is the world we live in. But yeah, there's that. So how do we feel about this Ultra Space Wonders event? I mean, honestly, that question we've already sort of answered, because we've talked about Blacephalon, we've talked about Stakataka, and those are really the big debuts besides Naganadal as well. Honestly, I think the new exciting piece is the shiny Marini, especially for you and I, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I love Marini. So chance for shiny Marini is great. I don't love the $5 paid ticket, but I get that it's giving a avatar item. So,
encounters with the new shiny and 4 premium raid passes and a lucky egg, which are
like, I get it that the avatar item itself is $5 basically when you buy it.
Yeah,
it still feels bad to pay $5 for paid research, I think, in a vast majority of cases.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, shiny Marini is great. Naganadal it exists. It's cool that it evolves and is an Ultra Beast. And yeah, Blacephalon.
Blacephalon.
It's Blacephalon. I will probably do some raids. Although, again, I'm really kind of just saving the money to kind of go ham during GoFest, so I probably won't do that many, even though I like Blacephalon. Can't wait for the shiny.
So this news came out today, and my buddy Alex sent me a message. He just sent me a picture of Blacephalon, and he said they're giving the Eastern Hemisphere Stakataka, and they're giving us this. I hate this thing. I've always hated this thing. Darn you, Niantic. And I said, you have to understand, Blacephalon is objectively better.
Yeah, it is objectively better. And also, I like it.
But that wasn't the answer that Alex was looking for, and I'll just leave it at that. Gosh. Well, anyway, hey, that's the news. We had so much to talk about this week, and we will probably have quite a bit to talk as we're heading into GoFest season. Was Madrid's first, right? So Madrid is is it Sendai's
first?
That's got to be happening pretty soon if memory serves.
It's like the first week of June, something like that. I know Steve
2-3 weeks
said that he was leaving for Japan soon, so he's going there for 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, so that'll be wild. And we're almost in the thick of it, folks. So get your shoes tightened and your cap on and your sunscreen applied.
I need to buy new shoes for GoFest. Oh my God! Don't let me forget.
I won't let you forget.
If I wear these shoes I have right now for GoFest, I will be sad.
Yeah, no, my current pair of shoes that I've had the last year have now been relegated to workout shoes. And boy, they're not taking retirement very well, let me tell you. They just decided to start breaking down. So, All right. Anyway, that's it for the news, y'all. We're going to be skipping past Gear Up since we kind of had one here. And we're also not doing Pokelore this week because we had so much news to cover. So when we come back from our short little break here, it will be time for PokéPoll.
Welcome back. For last week's PokéPoll we had, outside of PvP, do you pay attention to the meta or just go with the flow for raid, showcases, etc.? First responses from Freya Amber. They said, I do as I come from a PvE standpoint. I do not worry about the showcases too much as I do not have a lot of storage for extra small and extra large. You know what? I think a lot of people are starting to feel that right now.
Yeah.
We need another system if they're going to just keep being like, save these Pokemon. I can't.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to, and this will appeal and be beneficial to everybody. If you have the one in there, you throw it in there, and if you don't, you throw your best in there and hope for the best. And I think that's good in the long run because it gives everybody an opportunity to work on that stinking medal where you actually have to win them all. So
yeah, I mean, I will save something if it's an event spawn for the event that I'm playing.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like if Marini is spawning and I get an XXL, I'll probably save it because there'll probably be a showcase for that.
Yeah, probably with this upcoming event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shame it doesn't work with IVs too. You put in your hundo.
It's a shame.
Next one's from Mikey Midas. And they said, lately, I have focused more on building great mega Pokemon to take into raids. At the very least, I can provide a strong and durable Pokemon that can hold its own while providing a damage boost to other raiders. A worthwhile cause.
Yep. Hey, even raids need healers.
I mean, they do, as Scarlet and Violet has proven is a better system than the raids they had in Sword and Shield.
So. Yes, 100%.
Next one from Sarah Amanda, and they said, I'm not worried about showcases. I would not feel some compulsive need to indefinitely devote hundreds of spaces in my inventory to holding XXL Pokemon, just in case there was a showcase I can do, have a chance of getting an incubator?
Yes.
Now I know. Now, if I know there is a specific showcase coming up, sure, I'll hang on to the Pokemon for a week or two. But I try to regularly purge my inventory. Respect. If there is a raid boss I want to do enough where I would be willing to shortman the raid, I will look up the optimal counters and make a battle party and be aware of what the minimum amount of trainers also using optimal counters to win. But usually I'm just raiding during raid hour or community day where optimal counters don't matter because the lobby is so full of people.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And that answer, especially at the end, is why there's quotes around the word meta, because if you're trying to short man, absolutely you need to care about it. But if there's 20 people in your lobby, whatever, tap and talk, like we always say at these live
events. There's 20
events.
people. I'm like, I'm not even, did I bring in an Aggron? Sorry. I actually don't have any Aggron, so nobody can ever blame me of that. I transferred all of them.
Do you remember that one time I did that one raid? Because I used to complain about Aggrons all the time, and I got an achievement with my Aggron, and Camo screenshot it and shamed me for it, which was his Camo? Right. It was his right to do. It was.
It was very funny.
Moo? Was it Moo or Camo?
It was. I thought it was Moo,
two.
But
I think it might have been Moo. One of those two for sure.
Absolutely.
But oh my gosh, man. Anyway,
and then you transferred all of them and kept only the lowest level ones.
Did not do that. No.
Oh my gosh, you should do that.
No, I just now
just like I did with my slacking.
Once we got access to level 50, I just started catching and maxing out other Pokemon, and so now I never see the Aggron unless something has gone very, very wrong. Ag-wrong, if you will.
Anyways, next we have from Evie Lover Nia from Spotify. And they said, I just usually go with the flow. Sometimes it's hard to pick, but usually I have my buddy as one of my Pokemon for Go Battle League. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
To get the buddy hearts.
Yep. Pokemon is really good at fostering a sense of individualism, despite it being an RPG that's based in numbers. It kind of has the best of both worlds, and that's awesome.
We talked about that last week. Someone sent an email about that.
Yeah.
Oh, why Go doesn't have that?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yes, but we're talking about Pokemon as a whole.
Yes, I know. Last one's from Pogo Fan via Spotify, and they said, "Hey, GoCast, Pogo Fan here. I mean, yeah, I pay attention to the meta for raids and showcases, but that's really it. I don't know what else to do. Shundo vibes all, Pogo Fan." I mean,
okay,
that's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, for those out there that are like, that's a non-answer. No, this is how most people play this game.
Yeah,
that is a great answer.
You tell me the top 5 Pokemon here, and if I have them, I'll use them.
Yes.
That's how so many people, that's how anybody who looks up information about the game usually treats it. And that's totally valid. And then obviously you have 90% of the player base who doesn't look up anything and still doesn't know type advantage, and we don't worry about them.
Yeah, and so I feel like there are 3 tiers of people. There are the people, and this is 95% of people that play. I will take recommended and I'll do the raid, and that's just what I'll do, right? Oh, they got knocked out, whatever the next recommended set is, right?
Yeah.
There's that, and then in the next tier, the next like 4% of the remaining 5% of players are like, oh, this is a psychic type raid. Okay, I'm going to go in. I don't have a party built, but I'll look for dark type and I'll take my 6 strongest ones, whatever they are, and I'll throw them in, right? There's those. And then there's the 1% players that make a team for every type ahead of time and regularly maintain that top 6 list. If you're one of that first group, be proud, because those 1% people still need you.
Yeah. And if they don't, they're not in your lobby anyway, so they don't care.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm somewhere in between the 1% and the other 1% below them. I'm right in that halfway point.
Oh, the 1 and the 4%? Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right. For this week's PokéPoll we have, with the addition of another game feature, Fusions, do you think Pokemon Go is getting more difficult to approach as a new trainer?
This is almost impossible for us to actually have a meaningful conversation about, because we are so far removed from the experience of what it means to be a new player. And even if we were able to accurately reminisce on what our experience was like as new players, this game is so different now.
Yeah. So some thoughts, especially with Fusion coming up, Megas obviously being a really core part of the game nowadays. One of Pokemon Go's like greatest strengths as a regular player is one of its biggest flaws for new people, in that everything comes back eventually. But that also means that everything is not here now. Yeah. So much information for Go nowadays is under the assumption that you understand it. Like, you already know this. Here's what you're actually looking for. But if a new player is coming out and they're like, use a Brutal Swing Tyranitar, I'm like, I haven't seen Larvitar in 3 months. What do you mean? Like, the last time a Larvitar was featured was 6 months ago. This is not helpful information. And then you're going to feel discouraged because they don't have the agency to do what they want. So the game is very flawed in that regard, at least for somebody who cares about progressing in a exact pace, like in a linear pace. They want to keep improving over and over and over. And you can't do that if you can't get the new improvements. And, stuff like Fusion and Megas, sure, they're sort of confusing on paper, but the biggest limiting factor is someone's going to tell somebody to use Duskwing Necrozma, and they're going to be like, Necrozma hasn't been in raids in a year. Mm-hmm. I started in July. What do you mean? And then they're going to feel bad. Like, so like,
yeah, I mean, and there was a jumping on point at the beginning, and then there were several other jumping on points after that, but you can't just play for a month and then be caught up now. You have to
Yeah.
play probably at minimum a year to really see a full rotation of events, of returning spawns, of a December community day, of
Yeah.
all these sorts of different things. And that's a big ask, I think.
And honestly, even at this point, and this is coming from someone who plays a lot of mobile games, a year is not enough. There's legendaries we haven't seen in 8 or 9 months, and we've gone longer than that before.
Yeah.
And that's rough. That's rough for new player retention, especially.
You know what I'd really love to see, Kyle? Actually, now that you've got me thinking about this, I think it'd be really great if we had another 6 months of nothing but Reggies and raids. Remember the good old days? Remember those?
I do remember. Happened at least twice. But this is not really intentional, but it kind of ties into a post I saw on the Silph Road about people talking about feeling like the game is less populated. And like, obviously that's people being cherry picking their examples, and their community's dying, but the game is just fine because there's communities everywhere and stuff like that. But stuff like this does not help.
Yeah. I agree. And, you know, I think they're doing a pretty good job. I think seasons was a necessary thing, but it comes with the cons that you pretty much outlined, right? Some spawns just aren't around for months at a time. And sometimes those months at a time are back to back to back to back. And then it becomes a year plus, right?
It's the biggest flaw with Pokemon, like, as a franchise nowadays, especially as we entered Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. Too many Pokemon.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Pokemon fans don't want to hear that. There's too many Pokemon, okay? I love Gen 9 Pokemon a lot, but you can't argue that 1,050 Pokemon is too many when you're trying to include all of them. And Go wants to include all of them. That's just how Go works.
Go has to. Has to. And the only benefit it has, though, is that it's the same game being developed by for years and years and years and years, instead of like a 2-year release before they move on with the cycle.
Yeah. I do want to answer, though, directly. I think that new features being added to the game don't hurt the new player experience. I don't think Fusions hurt. I don't think Megas hurt. I don't think Rockets hurt. I think those are all positives and are not too overwhelming for new players. I think the new player experience struggles in other capacities, but I like seeing new features, and I think they benefit all players.
So in Pokemon Go's case, you don't think being feature rich is overwhelming? You think that's fine? It's just...
Correct. Well, I don't think at least we are overwhelmed. I don't think we are feature rich enough for it to overwhelm new players.
Okay.
I have played games that have been that, and this, I don't think Go is there.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I am going to kind of sidestep this one because I really don't have a good argument one way or the other. I think Kyle has done a good job of building a case for his answer. But honestly, I think I would be overwhelmed. But when I learn something new and am passionate about it, even if I am overwhelmed, I commit to it. And I like to overcome it. A good example is like Elden Ring, or more recently Helldivers has been really big for me, and that at high difficulty gets really hard and is overwhelming by nature. So I just feel like I can't give a good answer, and I'm really interested to hear what listeners have to say from across the spectrum of level and experience. Please, we'd love to hear your answer to this week's PokéPoll question, which was, one more time, with the addition of another game feature, Fusions, do you think Pokemon Go is getting more difficult to approach as a new trainer? You can answer that question. We posted on social media, mostly and actually exclusively X/Twitter. At GOCast Podcast is our handle over there. Go ahead and give that a follow. If you're listening on Spotify, the mobile app in particular, you can answer this question we post there. There'll be a Q&A tab you can click on and submit your answer there. If you're a patron of ours and you're in our patron exclusive Discord as a result, there is a PokéPoll channel that you can answer the question once it's posted there, which always goes up as this episode does. If you're watching on YouTube for the video version, hello, YouTube, waving. Hello. You can leave a comment below with your answer. And if any of those just don't appeal to you, can, of course, leave us a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717, or the old-fashioned way by sending us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. Speaking of emails and voicemails, Mr. Kyle, I know we're into Spotlight Hour and we're itching, but we got one more thing to do here. What is it?
Evolving Pokemon. Don't worry about
Oh, okay, good. Then you're set.
But it's time for emails.
That's right. And a couple of voicemails. We've got 2 voicemails and 1 email for y'all this week. This first voicemail is from Saramanda.
Hey GoCast, it's Saramanda here. So you might or might not know my most favorite Pokemon is Flygon, because Flygon's cute and adorable and just living his best Flygon life despite Garchomp's evil existence. And also, I really enjoy collecting Shadow Shiny Pokemon because, I don't know, they're kind of cool, kind of rare. You have to literally be playing the game to get it. The auto catcher won't get it for you, and you can't be traded them. So when you see my collection of currently 44 Shadow Shiny Pokemon, you know that I'm just a maniac. Anyway, so
Passionate.
obviously, Shadow Shiny Trapinch has been quite the chase for me. So I've been solely fighting Sierra, avoiding the other leaders, not fighting Giovanni because I would have to fight the other leaders to fight Giovanni. And so I have not released a single Trapinch Shadow I've caught, so I could count all my failures at any moment easily and be sad about it. So my goal is to fight 100 because that is something I can easily control. As opposed to trying to get the shiny, you know. I mean, I'm trying to get the shiny, obviously, but I don't know when that'll happen. So I was posting today about it in the GoCast server. I'd passed 100 and still didn't have it. So my new goal is 150. And then, boom, like 15 minutes later, when I went outside to fight the 3 Sierras that were lurking near my office because I had claimed this special research and because I saw the 3, and I was like, this would be a great way to just knock out 3. One of them was shiny. My 107th Shadow Trapinch encounter. That'd be kind of sad, though, and, you know, it'd be fun to get more than one, so I could have the line, mucho jealous of Triptondo's Shadow Shiny Trapinch, but he'll actually use it a lot more in PvP than me, so it's all good. Still jealous. Anyway, that's all. I just want to say I finally did it once. Maybe I'll do it a second time, but at least I did it once. So now if I'm bored, I'll proceed my Giovanni research and get the Groudon Shadow. That's all.
Yeah.
Peace. Saramanda.
Congratulations, Saramanda, on your Shadow Shiny Trapinch. Well earned.
May you get many more.
At least 2. At least 2 more.
At least 2 and a hundo.
Yeah. And a Shudundo for Shudundo. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's just Shudundo.
But that's just a Shadow Hundo.
No. I assume that's a shiny Hundo because a Shundo is a shiny Hundo. But then how do you should be a shiny Shadow Hundo?
But how do you just do Shadow Hundos then? Shando?
I mean, I just would say Shadow Hundo, but
oh, okay. All right,
I was under the impression when we'd said Shudundo that was a Shadow Shiny Hundo.
Well, I got news for you. That wasn't my intention, but okay. I'm going to go with your understanding because you generally are a better listener than I am. So
I don't know about that, but
all right. Well, anyway, thank you, Saramanda. We got another voicemail here. This one's from Kevin Red Bull.
Hey, Chris and Kyle, it's Kevin Red Bull here. I'm sitting here with my roommate. We're having a conversation about, spawns and shinies and the rarities and the releases that they be slowly trickling out. And we can't really find an answer to this question. I'm wondering if you guys have the answer. Right now, May 2024, nothing's going on. Is Kecleon still able to be shiny if you find it? Or is it like Smeargle and they just turn it off on us because they absolutely hate us? I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's the second one. But please, dear Lord Arceus, I'm hoping that it can still be shiny because it gives me hope when I find a Kecleon. I'll be so upset if I've been looking for Kecleons for nothing. I'll stop clicking on them. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Happy Sunday, guys. Shiny vibes all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kevin Red Bull. Did you find the answer, Kyle? I see you researching over there.
I have a post on r/Pokemon Go yesterday of a shiny Kecleon.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
in the past, I think I made the assumption that they were turned off like Smeargle was, and somebody corrected me last time too.
We both did.
Yeah.
We were corrected, but I wanted to make sure that that correction was still valid. It is. Shiny Kecleon is still in the game. Yeah.
Yep. There's your answer.
So, shiny vibes for your Kecleon.
That's right. Get those little stinkers off the Pokestops. I'm trying to spin over here. All right. Thank you very much for the voicemails, y'all. We got one email. Mr. Kyle, would you do us the honor?
All right. We have an email from The Balm Is Me. And they said, gents, alas, what is left of my knees limit my walking to a mile or less, and then only on flat paths. The good news is that we live not that far from a state park that has a paved, mixed-use trail that winds through fields, woods, and along Lake Erie. With the weather better, my daily exercise returns to biking the whole length of the path. Now that the route play function has been stabilized and go, I've been killing my numbers. So long as I keep my speed under 6 miles an hour and have the plus going, I'm getting credit for 6 to 8 routes a day, maxing the Z cells, and banking decent experience. It's not 1 for 1, but there is some credit towards hatching eggs.
Yeah.
When Audino was recently nesting in forest biomes, the Stardust was phenomenal. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm closing my rings daily and seeing innumerable kinds of IRL birds. At one time, I heard they were going to create an adventuring setting for us cyclists. Any word? When will there be a badge for routes? My biggest problem is that my reluctant trainer wife thinks that bicycle playing is cheating the game. I strongly disagree. Can you please weigh in on this moral issue? Sorry for so many unanswerable questions. Any words of wisdom would be appreciated. The Balm Is Me. All right. Chris, would you like the honors?
Sure. I would love to. My take on bicycles is that you can run or you can ride a bike in the main series games. So it is in universe and completely fine. It is on Niantic that they have not made a bike mode with adjusted values.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
it's
my
crazy
take.
that it doesn't exist yet, but the problem is it would get abused by cars because they don't want people playing faster in cars.
People already play in cars and abuse it, and so
play faster. Like if you want to get credit in cars, you have to go at when you drive through the cemetery in Woodstock. Like no real dangers there.
They would have to make the motion tracking via the gyroscope a little bit more technical than they're probably willing to do in advance than they're willing to do in order to kind of track this stuff, because you could definitely tell the difference between riding a bike and riding in a car, and walking obviously is a big telltale because of all the jostling, but
I think that playing Go on a bike is perfectly fine as long as you're staying safe while doing it.
Yeah.
As silly as it may sound, it's really easy to injure yourself on a bike playing versus playing in a car, unless you're driving down busy streets, in which case don't do that. Yeah. And it's getting you out, and it is helping gamify your daily exercise. So it's a win-win, and win because you're getting credit in Pokemon Go. So yeah, fully agree.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to this other than we're jealous that you were able to take advantage of the Audino nesting. That is pretty sick. Happy to hear that you're maxing your routes and getting your Z cells. That's really good too. I wish I could say the same, but all of my routes are further.
Wish I could say the same. I'm okay. I think I have 5 Zygarde cells.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not doing so much better than that. I think I've got like 20 or 25. Like I'm not doing it either. I should be going daily, but the park that I can actually do them in is like 20 minutes away, and the gym is only 10. So guess which one I'm going to over the other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally have 2 routes on the street over by my apartment. I just don't.
Okay. You got no excuse, man.
I have no excuse.
No excuse.
It's not a high enough reward.
Well,
not a high enough reward. I would, in theory, have to do those 2 routes every single day for like 10 months.
Yeah, they need to up it, or what they need to do is at least be like, hey, every 10 routes you get 50.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you go on a
you'd be done so quickly.
Well,
but
if you do 10 consecutive days, like in a row, you did 10 in a row, I think 50 is reasonable.
Yeah, but it's a mobile game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're right. Anyway, thank you very much for the email there. The bomb is me. Nice to hear about your writing, and hopefully your reluctant trainer wife will give you a little bit more grace on the bicycle riding. Geez, I can definitely see where the side look is coming from for sure, because you're not going to get all that on foot. But it sounds like, with your knees and stuff, like you were saying, you have a good reason for the bicycle outside of Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is just a nice benefit, right?
Yeah. Also, I swear some Niantic media shows bikes. I don't know off the top of my head, but I swear I've seen it.
I'm sure.
Like in the pictures of being safe or something like that.
You mean in the context of Pokemon Go, or like on the Niantic website?
No, like
Niantic
in the context
branding?
of Pokemon Go in some way.
Oh, I mean, maybe. Yeah.
So
maybe.
Definitely don't feel bad about that.
Anyway, thanks again for the email. And if you, dear listener, would like to send us an email, just like the bomb is me did, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. If you'd like to send us a voicemail, but you can by calling the number 262-586-7717. For all things GoCast, visit our website, GoCast Podcast. If you also want to hear the phone number again and or how to spell the email address, you can go there and find it listed. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we really only got one, and it's X/Twitter @GoCast Podcast. Go ahead and follow there. If it's good enough for Pokemon Go, it's good enough for us, I guess. If you'd like to help support the show monetarily, you can via Patreon, where you get to pick how much you'd like to help support every month. And it's for as little as $1 at that tier. You get access to our patron exclusive Discord. Or if you'd like to help support a little bit more, there are other tiers. And speaking of other tiers, our highest tier, the Elite Trainer tier patrons, big shout out to them. Thank you to Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, and Mimi, Swartz, Arasui, and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Moddersley, William, Brandon, Ethan, Stephen, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, and Sarah Lore. Thank you so much for your generous support and for helping us keep the digital lights on, in addition to many other things. If you'd like to help support the show in another way, non-monetarily, or in addition to being a patron if you're an all-star, you can leave us a review. We got a new 5-star review this week from regular writer, inner, and interactor Buckets 33,000, and they said, "This is so good. Thank you so much for your review. We appreciate it very much." And okay, cool. So please leave a review. Kyle, we got to set some goals, and then we're done here, and you can evolve and not catch Abra to your heart's content.
Abra.
All right, what are you looking to do this week? We've got Bone Sweet Community Day over the weekend, which is on Sunday, so I don't think you can't participate, right?
I have no chance.
Other than that, the Master Ball research just came out.
Yeah, so I want to do at least part 1 of the Master Ball research. 300,000 experience, and I need to clean some storage because it's getting a little bit out of hand, and I don't want to scramble come GoFest in like 3 months because I haven't cleaned anything in 6 months. So I'm going to try and clean down to 5,000, which is about 1,000 transferred roughly.
Nice, man. I already know that we're going to be boarding that plane. I'm going to be like, oh no, I haven't cleared any storage yet.
Yeah. Like pay the $8 for the Wi-Fi and clear it on the way there.
Maybe I will.
No, you won't.
Maybe I will.
It'd be too uncomfortable to do that while you're on the plane.
True. Gosh darn, those teeth get smaller every year. Anyway, good on ya. Those are nice goals. For myself, 20 shiny Bon Sweet. Hopefully I don't get 41 or 42 again like last community day. That's just too many. Hatch 50 eggs. Have 19 million Stardust on hand next week, and I want to be as far in the Master World research as I can go. I believe there isn't a time gate until the last page, or something like that, unless there isn't, and I misread Lachlan's message about it. So I'm going to try to get as far as possible, and that'll be good enough. So, hey, good luck, y'all, with Bold Sweet Community Day. and everything else in between. We'll catch you next week for episode 283. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.